This bubbling, seething mass is quite unique. Algae is being cultivated in organic reactors set into the facade of a house in Hamburg. The algae is used to produce biogas, while at the same time providing heating to 30 households. Martin Kerner is one of the founders of the world's first Algae House. He and his colleagues are constantly working to improve the organic reactors in the facade and their interaction with the building's utilities. The endeavor is a kind of real-time experiment.
This is a research center for us. It's an ideal setup for research and development. We don't just do little things. We can do the equivalent of open-heart surgery here. We can test what works, what's efficient, what can be improved. We can address all of our questions.
Martin Kerner is proud of the Algae House. He's overseen the system ever since it was built in 2013. Aside from heating the building and producing biogas, the system also reuses all the wastewater that would normally end up in the sewage system.
We recycle the building's wastewater and produce methane in the process. The water and nutrients are recycled directly back into the bioreactor. So there's a kind of built-in circulatory system where we use wastewater to produce heating and raw materials.
The algae reactor was based on a prototype developed by Hamburg's Technical University. Kerstin Kuchter from the university's Institute of Environmental Technology and Energy Economics has been working with the operators of the Algae House.
The Algae House was a very courageous step, taken at a really early stage when it was clear that someone needed to step up and create a large-scale application. Of course, optimizations have been required, but that's natural and the only way forward.
The process is constantly being refined to improve the power supply's efficiency. Occasionally, there are setbacks. Shortly after the launch, for example, the system had to be shut down due to corrosion in the reactors.
Whenever you put a new system into operation, at some point, you'll find it necessary to restart it. You have to do that and come up with the funds to improve it.
At the Anhalt University of Applied Sciences in central Germany, researchers are also looking for the energy of the future and see great potential in algae. Carola Grill is working on the development of algae fuel.
It took thousands of years to get the kind of yields we now get from land-based plants we use for agricultural crops. In the same way, it just needs more time to develop algae biotechnology.
Thus, generating fuel from algae is still currently expensive. It requires expertise and numerous procedural steps. The algae first has to be cultivated, harvested, and dried. The oil from the plants is then extracted from the dried biomass and then finally converted into fuel. Kerstin Kuchter in Hamburg is interested in one of the waste products left from this process. It too can be used to generate energy.
When we grow algae, as we're doing here in this facility, or as is being done in the Algae House, the initial focus is normally on the oils, the fuels, or, for example, on the fine chemicals that can be gained. But once you extract those from the algae, you remove all the color, and what you're left with is a white residue, which can still be converted into biogas.
At the university biogas facility, she's able to analyze the process. The advantage of algae is that it grows very quickly. That means you have plenty of material for generating biogas. The production of energy from algae is still in the early stages and requires further development. Back at Anhalt University, Carola Grill harvests fresh algae from the pond right next to the institute. She's developed a process that makes it possible to extract oil from the plant while it's growing without damaging it. This simplifies the production of algae fuel and lowers costs. But while countries like the US, Japan, and Argentina are making substantial investments in this technology, it's still difficult to get research funding in Germany.
Right now, the technology still has a ways to go. The energy balance is negative. It's still too expensive. So if we want to keep pace with international efforts, then Germany must be willing to invest a lot more.
Other countries certainly see tremendous potential in energy production from algae, and they're working feverishly to make it economically feasible.